Rawlings. Champions choose Rawlings. Oregon State Beavers, winners of 6 consecutive games and winners of their last 17 at home here in this season. And going back to last year, they have a home winning streak of 20 games. Last time they lost here in this ballpark was May 16th, 2023. They'll be facing the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford 6-6 in Pac-12 play. They've dropped their last 2 games, 13-17 overall. In the batting order for the Cardinal, Owen Cobb will lead it off and play second base. And batting second, the left fielder, Court McDonald, hit in 8 consecutive games. Malcolm Moore will bat third and catch. Moore, an excellent prospect. He is now a sophomore. Jimmy Nadai will hit cleanup and play first base. And batting fifth and playing right field, Luke Lavin. Lavin, a true freshman, getting a start in right field. Charlie Somm will bat sixth, and he's the DH. Then Timo Becerra, Trevor Haskins, and Ethan Hott. And they'll be hitting against the right-hander Aiden May. May missed a month with forearm tightness. This is his 4th outing back, 1-0, 4.35. Last Friday against Arizona State. No decision in a 13-8 win. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, and 5 runs all earned. He took a shutout into the 4th inning and then allowed a single, a walk, a wild pitch, a 2-out, 2-run single to Brandon Compton. Then another wild pitch and an Isaiah Jackson RBI single. Then in the 5th inning, gave up a 1-out single and double and was pulled. A couple of starts ago at USC, just 1 run allowed in 4 innings. And behind him, Oregon State has Dallas Macias in left, Cannon Reeder in center. Micah McDowell still a week or so away from returning, they hope. Gavin Turley in right. And Jacob Craig at first. Travis Bazzana at second. Elijah Hainline at short. Mason Guerra at third with Tanner Smith back of the plate. Oregon State 6-0 on their homestand. Tuesday they beat Portland 11-8. And then last week they were 5-0. They won 2 straight against Gonzaga, outscoring them 27-5. And then they swept Arizona State 13-8, 9-1, and 9-7. And then the midweek win over Portland. Stanford last week won 2 out of 3 at home against Washington State. Lost the finale there. And then lost a non-conference game at home against Arizona on Monday. Aiden May, 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball. Also throws a cutter, a slider, and an occasional change. Sits at 93 to 95 miles an hour, tops out at 96, and he'll be facing Owen Cobb. Sunday against Washington State, he was 4 for 6 with a couple of doubles and a home run, and 3 runs batted in. Here we go on a cloudy Friday evening to begin this series, and it's lifted a lazy fly ball out to Turley in right, and he puts it away. 1 pitch for Aiden May and 1 down here in the Stanford half of the first. And that brings up Court McDonald. Ted Williams would not have liked that, right? Teddy Ballgame used to chew out the leadoff hitter if he didn't see 3 or 4 pitches, so Williams would have a chance to see what the pitcher had on that day. Court McDonald, left-hand hitter. And he takes a strike over the inside corner. Joe Burleson, the plate umpire. Kelly Gonzalez, Travis Eggert, Angel Campos on the bases. Aiden May, the right-hander, a junior from Albuquerque. Slider misses 1-1. May went to Sandia High School, then Pima Community College, and spent a year at the University of Arizona before transferring here to Oregon State. Now a junior, and the slider hits the outside corner. Back-to-back sliders to Court McDonald. The Saturday starter for the Beavers, Jacob Kamatz, he and Aiden May were high school teammates and best friends. 2 hopper, and the shortstop Hainline, playing on the first base side of the bag, throws him out. That shift banned in professional baseball. Have to have 2 infielders on each side of the bag, and all infielders have to have their feet somewhere on the infield where the dirt would be. This is artificial turf here, but in college that hasn't been the case yet. So the shortstop Hainline able to play on the first base side of the bag. Malcolm Moore, the catcher. Strokes one towards center field. Cannon Reeder going back now, coming in. He's got to play. He's got the ball in the side retired. Easy inning for Aiden May. 1-2-3 on just 6 pitches. We go to the bottom of the first. The Beavers are coming up. Making his return to the lineup. Tried to play about 5 weeks ago against CSUN after injuring himself back in late February. He's ready to give it a go again. Jacob Craig at first, Elijah Hainline the shortstop, Dallas Macias in left, followed by Tanner Smith, the catcher, and then the center fielder, Cannon Reeder. On the mound for Stanford, hard-throwing right-hander Matt Scott making his 9th start. 2-5, 3.86 ERA. Quality starts in 5 of his last 6 outings. Quality starts, 6 or more innings pitched, 3 or fewer earned runs. The Reading, Connecticut native out of Joel Barlow High School. And Stanford defensively, Court McDonald, Ethan Hott, and Luke Lavin. They're in the outfield. There's Travis Bazzana. Bazzana hit his school record-breaking home run on Tuesday against the University of Portland. And here's what he had to say about that at bat.
I was like, all right, there's no reason they wouldn't go first pitch fastball again here. Like, I got myself out in the first pitch last at bat. Hit a changeup in my first at bat. I was like, again, just be ready to be on time for that. And it went in, and it was high enough where I could get elevated.
Elevate and celebrate. Travis Bazzana with his 35th career home run. Breaking the mark, held by Joe Gerber and Andy Jarvis. He's got 18 home runs this season, 3 shy of the single season record set 42 years ago by Jim Wilson. Matt Scott, fastball, slider, and splitter. Fastball comes up there 95 to 97. And the first pitch fastball. 1 ball and no strikes to Travis Bazzana. Bazzana's hit in 14 consecutive games, hitting .519 during the streak. I mean, these surpass video game numbers, what he's done recently, and really for the entire season. 2 balls and no strikes. In the 14-game hitting streak, 27 hits and 52 at-bats. 12 home runs, 27 runs scored, 27 RBIs, just in the last 14 games. That's a good season's worth of work over the last few weeks. Big rip, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Had occasion about 10 days ago to go on the Joe Beavers show, hosted by Oregon State radio play-by-play announcer Mike Parker, his broadcast partner John Warren, and the discussion was, who's the best Beaver of all time? Is it Adley Rutschman or Travis Bazzana? 2-1 pitch to Bazzana. And now it's 3 balls and a strike. And we tried to factor out recency bias, but the consensus was that even a Golden Spikes winner is being outpaced by what Bazzana is doing this year. 3-1 pitch to Bazzana. And Scott's fastball well placed over the outside corner. And the count goes full. All fastballs to Bazzana so far. Gavin Turley on deck, and the payoff pitch to Bazzana. 3-2 breaking ball, and he missed with it. And Bazzana is aboard, along with everything else. He leads the Pac-12 and is second in the nation in walks. That's the 40th base on balls for Bazzana, and he struck out just 13 times. Bazzana not stealing as many bases as he did last year. Had a school record 36 thefts in 2023. This year he's stolen 8 out of 11. Held on at first by Jimmy Nadai as the red-hot Gavin Turley climbs in. Fake bunt, the runner going head-first dive on a throw that was on a hop. And the tag applied late by Trevor Haskins, and Bazzana has his 9th stolen base in 12 tries. So staying aggressive on the first pitch. Fake bunt for Turley, and the throw on a hop from the catcher Malcolm Moore. Now Turley with a chance to pick up an RBI with the base hit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gavin Turley, sophomore from Chandler, Arizona, Hamilton High School. Last year was a freshman All-American. 309 with 14 home runs last year. He swings and comes up empty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Turley, the reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week. Against Gonzaga and ASU last week at .455. A couple of doubles and 3 home runs. Pickoff look at second. One ball and 2 strikes to Turley. One, 2 from Scott. Slider missed, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Consecutive sliders to Gavin Turley. Gavin Turley, back in June of 2022, was the number 87 draft prospect, according to The Athletic. MLB.com had him at number 107. And he came to Oregon State. Slider swing and a miss, and down he goes. 1 down. He tripled up on the slide piece. 3 in a row to Gavin Turley. And Mason Guerra coming up. Matt Scott, 6'7", 247 pounds. He's an imposing presence out there on the mound. Second baseman Cobb is playing over toward the bag. Infield playing Mason Guerra to pull. Guerra's hit in 7 consecutive games. He was trying to get on the board first against a tough customer, Matt Scott. Great outing last Friday at home against Washington State. No decision in a 5-3 win. Brady Reynolds hit a walk-off home run in the 9th inning. But before that, 6 great innings for Matt Scott to start the ball game. 1 hit, 1 unearned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. One to Mason Guerra. Oregonian from Beaverton. Pulled it past the third base coach Ryan Gibson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bazana walked, stole second. Turley struck out. 1 and 2 to Guerra. Pickoff throw. Bazana gets back to the bag as the second baseman Cobb backhands it to keep it from going into center field. There's Ryan Gibson, third base coach for Oregon State, calls the offense. And Gibson was a member of their first College World Series championship team back in 2006. Chopper hit past Gibson again. 1 and 2. Matter of fact, Ryan Gibson hit the ball that ended up scoring the championship winning run against North Carolina. Bill Rao, my occasional broadcast partner here on Pac-12 Network, scored that game-winning run in the finale against the Tar Heels back in 06. 1-2 pitch. Slider, Tapper hit up along third, and that trickles foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Beavers making Scott work. Already up to 16 pitches. #104th meeting between the Beavers and Stanford. Stanford leads the all-time series 54-49, and they've won 5 straight. At one time it was tied 49 for each team. Fastball mid-90s, and Guerra lays off it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The last Oregon State win was at home, April 2nd, 2022, an 11-inning 3-2 victory. Stanford swept 3 from Oregon State at Stanford last year. Swinging a line drive, hacked toward left field. McDonald back, reaches up and makes the catch, and Bazana has to retreat to second. Upper part of the zone, Guerra went and tomahawked it and hit it hard, but lines out to left. We're going to go up and get that top part of the zone. Nonetheless, had a little top spin on it, and McDonald read it well. Here's Brady Casper. Tried to play 5 weeks ago against CSUN, non-conference series here at home. 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts. He'd originally injured his left knee. February 23rd against Arkansas. Looked like it was a collision, but it wasn't. He was trying to avoid Travis Bazana. And Brady Casper, when he has played this year, other than the brief stint against CSUN 5 weeks ago, he's played well. 9 games, hitting .320. 1 home run, 9 runs batted in. He swings and he lines one toward the alley and right, coming in a hurry and unable to catch it, Luke Lavin. Bazana scores. Into second base with a double is Casper. And welcome back to the lineup, Brady Casper. Now that had to feel good. Such high hopes Casper had for this season. And he, for the most part, has not been able to play since late February. Lavin was thinking about going for a diving catch, and then thought, well, I better just keep it in front of me. Casper's second double of the year. 1-0 Oregon State, bottom of the first inning. Jacob Craig comes up empty. Craig hitting .308. He's hit in back-to-back games. Had been scuffling for a while, but the last 5 games, 9 hits and 18 at-bats. Previous 6 games before that, he was 1 for 18 and had struck out 12 times, but he has turned it around. Last 5 games, he either, for the most part, has a hit or is struck out. 9 for 18 with 8 Ks. So when he puts it in play, he almost always gets a base hit over these last 5 games. No swing, says the base umpire, Kelly Gonzalez. Two and 1 to Craig. Casper at second. Check swing, foul ball, rattles in and out of the Stanford dugout. '25th pitch of the inning coming up for Matt Scott. The most he's thrown in the game is 115. That was at home against USC in the middle of March. The 2-2 pitch to Jacob Craig. Slider missed up, full count. Told you Matt Scott had a great outing last Friday at home against Washington State. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 unearned run. His last road start, 2 starts ago at Utah, was his worst of the year. 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs all earned, 6 walks. Breaking ball got him swinging, good pitch. And the side retired, but the Beavers get a run on Brady Casper's return to the starting lineup. A double brings home Travis Bazana. Top of the second inning, it's 1-0. Oregon State getting a run on the RBI double by Brady Casper. One ball, no strikes to Jimmy Nadai. Man there with the backwards cap and the glasses is Aiden May's father. Obviously getting some good video of his son. And he deals a slider in there for a strike to the Aussie Jimmy Nadai. 1-1 pitch. The outside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aiden May's father's name is Don. He played baseball at Illinois State University. Breaking ball missed, 2-2 to Jimmy Nadai. Nadai from Sydney, Australia. Boyhood friends with the Beavers' Travis Bazzana. Matter of fact, Bazzana says they're best friends. Another slider, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nadai. Kelly Gonzalez said no swing. Jimmy Nadai and the Beavers' Travis Bazzana first met when Nadai was 10 and Bazzana was 11. Ground ball out to Hainline. Elijah gobbles it up and slings it over wide of the mark, but Craig applies the tag on Nadai. Nice play by Jacob Craig. One down. If there's a chink in Oregon State's armor, it's their defense. Last year, Oregon State had one of the best defenses in the entire country. This year, I'd say they're middle of the road. 1 ball, no strikes to Luke Lavin. Lavin hitting .240 in 19 games. Freshman from Laguna Beach, California, Santa Margarita Catholic High School. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last 4 games, Lavin 2 for 12. The 2 hits both for extra bases. Good approach at the plate. Lavin draws more walks than strikeouts. Here he bounds one out to Bazzana, playing on the outfield grass. And Travis submarines it over to Jacob Craig, and there are 2 down. And Mays retired all 5 hitters to face him. Needed just 6 pitches in the first inning. He's thrown 9 so far here in the second. Brings up the designated hitter, Charlie Somm. Junior from Thousand Oaks, California. Played at a couple of different high schools, St. Bonaventure High School, then Thousand Oaks High School. His head coach at Thousand Oaks High School was Jack Wilson, former starting shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. A little more than a decade ago. Charlie Somm, a catcher by trade, DHing in this one. Good breaking ball by Aiden May. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scouts would tell you Aiden May's slider is big league. There's another one, foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 20th pitch coming up for Aiden May. One, two. Now 2-2. Charlie Somm, the hitter, told you he's a catcher by trade. He said he picked up catching as a kid because I looked good in catcher's gear. That's one reason to do it, huh? Slider, a check swing. Swing, says Gonzalez, and down goes Somm. First strikeout for Aiden May. He's retired all 6 hitters to face him, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Oregon State. It's 1-0 Oregon State as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. And Matt Scott, the hard-throwing right-hander, will go back to work. He'll face Elijah Hainline. Followed by Dallas Macias and then Tanner Smith. Hainline, the Beavers shortstop from Spokane. Went to Meade High School, then last year a sophomore at Washington State, was all Pac-12 honorable mention. Hit .337 with a dozen home runs. His average on the rise here this year, hitting .308 coming in. But he's hitting 6 straight, during which time he's hit .464. One on one. Hayline with 7 home runs this year, tied for 8th in the Pac-12. Swings over the top of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hayline with a lot of pop. With Washington State last year, hit a 454-foot home run against Arizona. Two balls and 2 strikes to Hayline. Facing Matt Scott. Scott considered an excellent professional prospect. And the 2-2. That's a shot pulled foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hayline. Matt Scott throws hard, but his stride length at 6'7" makes that fastball seem even harder, especially to right-hand hitters. And he tried to come up and in on Hayline, but missed. Full count. Already 32 pitches for Scott. Look out. 3-2 pitch. Came with a 3-2 slider. The 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Hayline leading off the second for Oregon State. They scored a run in the first on an RBI double by Brady Casper. Fastball high, a check swing, and no swing, says Gonzalez. Second consecutive inning with a leadoff walk for Oregon State. Bazana was cashed in on the double by Casper an inning ago. Nate Esposito, the first base coach. Elijah Hayline, stolen 3 bases. Last year stole 10 for Washington State. The catcher Malcolm Moore, good pro prospect. Throwing out 32% of the runners to go, slightly above average, 13 in 41 attempts. Beavers were aggressive in the first inning with Bazana going on the first pitch. Hayline is not going, and Macias drives one to deep right field, way back and out of here. No doubt about it. All the way over the grandstand. A long 2-run home run for Dallas Macias. 3-0 Oregon State. Macias was sitting on that one, and he got it. Home run number 3 for the Parker, Colorado native. Got one in her half and jacked it way out of here. Dallas Macias makes it 3-0 Beavers. Tanner Smith comes up. It's just his second game in the month of April. Wilson Weber doing the bulk of the catching duties. Tanner Smith is excellent at getting strikes for his pitchers at the bottom of the zone. And with Aiden May, the Beaver starting pitcher today, working primarily at the bottom of the zone, Oregon State thought it would be best to have Tanner catch. Looking for him to get things going offensively. He's a better hitter than what he's shown this year. 246, 3 home runs. He's got a great arm back of the plate as well. Smith has thrown out 65% of the runners to go, 11 of 17. That's remarkable. A leadoff walk comes home to roost for the second consecutive inning. 2-2 pitch. And Smith goes down on strikes. That's the third K for Matt Scott. That'll bring up the Oregon State center fielder Cannon Reeder. One down here in the inning. Reeder from Bend, Central Oregon. But that doesn't tell the entire story. That's listed as his hometown. But he has led a peripatetic existence in his life. Born in Mississippi. His family lived in Florida, Gulf Breeze, Florida, during his junior high school years. And they're frequent travelers. They would pack up everybody, get in a motorhome, and travel around the country. They did that when he was in 6th grade. And just after his 8th grade year, they decided they would do it again. So they got in the motorhome. They rented their house, left it fully furnished. Somebody rented their house in Gulf Breeze, Florida. They left it fully furnished, and they spent a month just traveling around every part of Florida. Then they decided, hey, let's take another loop around the country. By October, Cannon Reeder's family, that's him right there, they ended up in Central Oregon. And they thought, man, it's beautiful here. And those of you who've been there know it's unlike anywhere else in the country. 2-2 coming up to Cannon. And strike 3 called at the knees. So Cannon, who's been swinging it well, hit in 4 straight, goes down on strikes. So his family ends up in Bend. And they like it so much they decide to stay. They rented a house, later on bought a house there. And they decided that he's just going to attend high school there. His second semester of his freshman year of high school. So he played baseball for Summit High School as a freshman. During that first winter there, when they were living out of their motorhome, and then when they rented the house, they would go skiing 5 or 6 days a week. They decided that they would stay in Bend. He ended up there throughout his high school years. And since he's come here, his family has moved again. They're back where he was born in Mississippi. On to the count to Travis Bazzana. MLB Pipeline has Bazzana as the number 3 draft prospect this year. 0-2. The split misses, 1-2 the count. J.J. Weatherholt, an infielder for West Virginia, considered the number 1 prospect by MLB Pipeline. Wake Forest first baseman Nick Kurtz, considered the number 2 prospect. 1-2 to Bazzana. Another split misses. 2-2. Bazzana worked a 6-pitch walk his first time up. Infield playing him to pull. The 2-2 to the Oregon State junior second baseman. Breaking ball hit to deep left center field. Hot going back near the track to reel it in. Bazzana, great power to all fields. He says in part because he grew up playing cricket, where you hit the ball all over the place. Beavers get a pair and they lead 3-0. Dallas Macias hits a 2-run home run, and Oregon State has a 3-0 lead for Aiden May to work with as we go to the top half of the 3rd inning. May's retired all 6 hitters to face him, and the 3rd baseman Timo Becerra will start matters up. Junior from Clovis, California. Went to Buchanan High School. He started them off with a slider. Timo Becerra, last 5 games, 3 for 17, hasn't struck out in that span. Previous 5 games had been 11 for 22. Little blooper, shallow right field, and it drops between Bazzana and Turley for a base hit. First base runner for Stanford comes leading off the 3rd inning. A loop hit for Timo Becerra.
The shortstop, number 5, Trevor Haskins.
Brings up the shortstop, Trevor Haskins. Haskins been swinging it well. Hit in 9 straight games, hitting .457 during the streak. That includes 7 extra base hits, a couple of home runs. Hit for the cycle at Texas Tech 10 days ago. Is ahead in the count 1-0. Timo Becerra stolen 1, been caught 1 time. Tanner Smith, excellent arm back of the plate. Told you Tanner Smith has thrown out 65% of the runners to go when he's been back there. 11 out of 17. That's over double the average. It slides in there, 2-1 the count. Aiden May showing confidence in that breaking ball. Of course, these days, to rise up the ladder in baseball, pitchers have to be able to throw any pitch in any count, or at least they have to be able to throw one good secondary pitch in any count. 3-1 to Haskins. Some of the best pitchers in baseball throw less than 50% fastballs. Full count to Trevor Haskins out of San Jose, went to Valley Christian High School. A couple of years ago as a true freshman, a game-winning hit in the title game of the Stanford Regional. Inside corner. Front door breaking ball. Down goes Haskins. That's a 2nd K for Aiden May.
The center fielder, number 3.
Watch this one. That slider on the inside corner. Aiden May's longest outing this year, 5 1/3. That was in his first start of the year against New Mexico back on February the 16th. That was also the most pitches he's thrown, 80. Facing the number 9 hitter, Ethan Hott. Sophomore out of Paradise Valley, California. Hott is his last name, and it also describes what he's done lately. His last 16 games since March 8th. Hitting .385. In Pac-12 play, Hott 12 for 29, .414. Two balls and no strikes. Timo Becerra led off the inning by looping a base hit to right. Trevor Haskins struck out looking on a slider. There's a slide piece that hits the outside corner, 2-1. Hainline and Bazzana at double play depth with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. There's a line drive. That'll get down for a base hit in front of Macias, who picks it up on a hop. Fires it to 3rd. Becerra digs for 3rd. 1 hop throw, and he's out. Becerra thrown out trying to take 3rd base. Dallas Macias, the hero, with his bat and with his arm. Macias hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd here in the top of the 3rd. Timo Becerra trying to take the extra base with 1 out in the inning, and he gets thrown out by Macias. That's a gamer right there, folks. Dallas Macias. 2 down for the leadoff batter, Owen Cobb, flew out to right on the first pitch of the game. Hott down to 2nd on the throw. 3-0 Oregon State. A big 2nd out of the inning. 0-2. Last year, Dallas Macias made one of the greatest plays I've ever seen a left fielder make. Considering what he did to make the play and the situation. It came in extra innings against USC. Fly ball out towards center field. Reeder coming in a hurry. Bazana going out. They converge, and Bazana makes the catch above his head. Great defense by Oregon State. Dallas Macias thrown out Becerra at third, and they keep Stanford off the board. 3-0 Oregon State. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. Matt Scott back to work. He'll face 2, 3, and 4. Gavin Turley, Mason Guerra, and Brady Casper. Gavin Turley struck out swinging on a slider his first time up. Reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week. Hit .455 in 5 games against Gonzaga and Arizona State. 2 doubles and 3 home runs. And 11 runs batted in.
Leading off Oregon State in the bottom of the third inning, the right fielder, number 1, Gavin.
Gavin Turley's intended major, agricultural science. Says he wants to go into ranching after his playing career, which, if projections hold up, will be a while from now. Turley, excellent draft prospect a couple of years ago, and will be again next year as a junior. Coming out of high school, was considered the number 87 draft prospect by The Athletic. Told you that earlier. Oh, 1-2 the count to Turley. Goss Stadium at Coleman Field hosted its first game in 1907. Of all the baseball fields and all the places across the country, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field is believed to be the oldest continually used park in the country. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Turley. Park has changed, but home plate's been in the same spot since they first played here 117 years ago today, April 12th, 1907. Right here. Salem High School beat Oregon State 4-0. April 12th, 1907. Been a long time. 3-2 pitch. Slider popped up right side of the infield. It's Cobb and Nadai, and it's Nadai, the first baseman, who makes the squeeze.
The third baseman, number 9, Mason Guerra.
Mason Guerra comes up. Lined out to left. His first time up. Matt Scott, the right-hander for Stanford, giving up 3 runs on 2 hits. Both hits for extra bases. RBI double by Brady Casper. And a 2-run home run by Dallas Macias. Now facing Mason Guerra. Last year, Matt Scott made consecutive starts in elimination games. June 4th and 5th against Cal State Fullerton and Texas A&M in the Stanford Regional. Consecutive starts, you ask. Why? Well, he didn't make a lot of pitches in the first game. 48 pitches. Allowed 4 runs in 2 innings against Cal State Fullerton. So they brought him back the next day, and he allowed 1 run in 3 innings against Texas A&M, throwing 51 pitches. And Stanford would win 3 consecutive games and come back and capture that regional. They'd lose to Texas in the first game of the Super, but come back and win the next 2 to advance to their 3rd consecutive College World Series. 3-1 to Guerra. Already 60 pitches through 2 1/3 for Matt Scott. Full count. So Matt Scott, the right-hander for Stanford, 6'7". A sophomore. He'll be high on teams' draft boards next year, but kid's a dirtbag, let me tell you. That was the name of his club team. Dirtbags Baseball out of North Carolina. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball lifted out towards center field. Ott says he has it and brings it in.
The designated hitter. Number
2 down for the DH, Brady Casper. Casper in his first at-bat in 5 weeks. Doubled to right to bring home a run. Tweaked his left knee on a flare to shallow right. He was playing right field. Travis Bazzana playing second base. This was against Arkansas back on February 23rd. And in an effort to avoid Bazzana, he tweaked his knee. Tried to come back a couple of weeks later. Wasn't quite ready yet. And so this is his first game in 5 weeks. Oregon State still without their expected starting center fielder, Micah McDowell, out with a minor oblique strain. They're taking an abundance of caution with him, as they did with Brady Casper. Splitter. And swings as a third base umpire, Angel Campos. One ball and 2 strikes. 5 consecutive retired by Matt Scott. Another splitter got him. That's strikeout number 4 for Matt Scott. Back on the beam after the home run by Macias. He's retired 6 consecutive hitters, 3 on strikeouts. We played 3 here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field in Corvallis on this series opening Friday night. Stanford used to being ranked at this point in the year. They're 13-17 overall. Very unlike a David Esker team. Oregon State ranked number 5 in the country. Court McDonald, the left fielder, takes strike 1 from Aiden May. Nakamura on deck, and then Jimmy Nadine. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2 from May to McDonald, and he got him swinging. Good pitch. 3rd strikeout for Aiden May. May really just getting back on the beam. It's his 4th start back since missing a month. Took something off that one. Nakamura flew out to center. First ball swinging back in the 1st inning. Nakamura on the Golden Spikes Award watch list prior to the year. Chops it out to Bazzana, playing in the shotgun position in shallow right. And for the 2nd consecutive at-bat, Moore goes out on the 1st pitch. Flied to center of the 1st, grounds to 2nd here in the 2nd. So there's Travis Bazzana. And the guy he calls his best friend, they're both Aussies, is coming to the plate now for Stanford. Jimmy Nadine. 2 grew up playing baseball together. Matter of fact, they met when they were on opposing teams. And Travis says they were each the shortstop on opposing teams, and being competitive, they kind of looked at each other out of the corners of their eye. And in the first game they ever played against each other, Nadine was 10 years old. Bazzana was 11 years old. And Bazzana hit a ball with Nadine playing shortstop, and Bazzana doesn't remember if it was a line drive or a ground ball, but it hit Nadine in the head. He said a few months later, maybe it was an all-star team or something like that, they were teammates, and they got to talking, and they really hit it off. And they have been best friends ever since. Jimmy Nadai of Stanford, Travis Bazzana of Oregon State. 3-0 to Nadai. Well placed outside corner at the knees. In his last start, May took a shutout into the 4th inning, then ran into problems. He's got a shutout with 2 down in the 4th here. 3-1 slider. 3-2 the count. Cleanup hitter Jimmy Nadai hitting .286, couple of home runs. 4th in the Pac-12 in doubles with 11. Slider got him. And down goes Nadai. May battles back from 3-0. 4 shutout innings, allowing 2 hits. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Oregon State. 3-0 Oregon State. RBI double in the 1st inning by Brady Casper. 2-run home run in the 2nd inning by Dallas Macias. And it'll be Craig Hainline and Macias here in the 4th. Craig struck out swinging on a slider his first time up. Native of Antioch, California, went to Clayton Valley High School. Just 8 games last year as a true freshman. 6 hits and 18 at-bats with 1 home run. 25 games this year, hitting .308 with 6 home runs. Like a lot of Oregon State players, production goes up throughout his career. I think the poster child for that is Wade Meckler, who wasn't on anybody's prospect list when he came to Oregon State. Listened to his coaches, worked hard, and got out of here and made the big leagues shortly after walking off campus. 0-2 to Jacob Craig. Still 0-2. Craig fighting off a slider. Matt Scott beat Oregon State last year. That was at Stanford early in the season. 1 run in 6 innings, 5 hits. So the Beavers have already done more against him in this year than they did in that game March of 2023. His 71st pitch of the night. Two balls and 2 strikes. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Oregon State tracks quality plate appearances. You get one if you take an at-bat to 7 pitches or more. Another great crowd here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The 2-2 from Scott. Slider down into the turf, full count. I love their Beavers here. They're seeking their 4th national championship in 19 years. Payoff pitch. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Good fastball by Matt Scott. Craig down on strikes for the 2nd time. Jacob Craig now 9 for his last 20. 9 hits and 20 at-bats with 10 strikeouts. So again, when he puts it in play, lately it's almost always a hit. Here's Hainline. Walk leading off the 2nd inning was aboard when Macias hit the long home run off Scott. Matt Scott, 2022 graduate of Joel Barlow High School in Reading, Connecticut. Led them to the state title. Was the Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year. Each year, Gatorade selects one Player of the Year from each of the 50 states in a lot of different sports. And Matt Scott, the right-hander for Stanford, was that in Connecticut in 2022. Beavers continue to make him work. Has retired 7 consecutive, 4 of them on strikes. Slider left up. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll be back at it with Game 2 on Pac-12 Network tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Ground ball out toward Haskins at short. Gloves it on the third hop. Cocks the gun and fires to get Hainline. One shortstop throwing out another.
The left fielder, number 4, Dallas Macias.
Haskins, good glove man. Here's Dallas Macias, who was sitting fastball inner half his first time up on the very first pitch and got it. And jacked it way out of here over the grandstands in right. One ball and no strikes to Macias. 3 home runs this year. Last year, 33 games as a true freshman, 203 without a home run, had 10 runs batted in. Told you he made a great play in left field last year in an extra inning game against USC. I do believe it's the best catch I've ever seen a left fielder make, considering the situation, extra innings, and the fact that he plastered himself against the left field fence. Hooks one, foul outside the line, says Kelly Gonzalez. Nate Esposito, shaking his head, said it was fair. He's the first base coach. Let's have a look at it again. It's past the base, so it's where it lands, and Gonzalez had a look at it right there. And Mitch Canham coming out to talk with the plate umpire, Joe Burleson. That ball was roped. And Burleson, at Canham's request, going out to talk with the other umpires, but clearly Gonzalez had the best view of it, and he called it foul. It's going to stay a foul ball. They're going to check it. Smoke just past first base. If it bounces before the base, then it's fair or foul based on where the ball is when it crosses first base. If it goes past first base on a line, then it's fair or foul based on where it lands. So Joe Burleson and the first base umpire Kelly Gonzalez will go take a look at it. And just a reminder that the umpires have cameras that we don't, such as that one. You can see a view going right down the line right there, and the monitor that they're looking at. So they'll get a pretty good look at it. Well, if this call was overturned and it was a fair ball, then they would have to determine where to put Macias. Second base would seem to be the likely place. Burleson, the crew chief and plate umpire. Also Kelly Gonzalez. 3-0 Oregon State. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Macias, who homered back in the 2nd inning, thought he had extra bases on that one. Talking about Dallas Macias and that catch he made last year. When you get a moment, go to his page at OSUBeavers.com. Just look up Dallas Macias. And there's a picture of him making that catch last year. It almost looks like an old David Letterman routine with Velcro Man, the way he's plastered himself up against the wall making the catch. And the great thing is, in the background, there's an Oregon State reliever looking up at him making the catch. It's just in front of the bullpen. And the reliever has a smile on his face. An excellent photograph of that catch that Macias made in extra innings against USC last year. Again, that's on his bio at OSUBeavers.com. Jimmy Nadi, the first baseman, had a conversation with Macias and Nate Esposito, the Oregon State first base coach, as the umpires continue to look at this play, and we're going to get a ruling here. And you can see they've got that camera angle going right down the line for plays just such as this. And let's see what the call is. Burleson says it's a fair ball. It's going to be a double for Dallas Macias. So the call gets overturned, and now they're going to hear it from David Esker, head coach of Stanford. Esker getting the explanation from Joe Burleson and the first base umpire Kelly Gonzalez. Explanation probably about the call itself and about where the base runner is being placed. You can see him. So he said, so we changed it, and so Macias with his second extra base hit of the game.
Now batting the catcher, number 8, Tanner Smith.
2-out, 2-bagger for Macias. That's his 8th double of the year. And Tanner Smith, the catcher, comes up. Smith struck out his first time up. Pops it up, middle of the diamond. Shortstop Haskins, second baseman Cobb, center fielder Hott. It's the shortstop Haskins. And one pitch after that, the inning is over. Macias has his second extra base hit, but they leave him at second. 3-0 Oregon State. And there's Dallas Macias. Macias with a home run and a double in this game. One quick clarification. I told you that you could find that photo of him making that catch at his page at OSUBeavers.com. And if you're watching it on, looking at it on your phone, you might have to scroll to the left. Another photo might come up. Just scroll to the, or swipe to the left, and eventually that photo of him making that catch in extra innings against USC last year will come up. I mean, it was on the dead run, and he splattered himself against the wall and backhanded the ball. In extra innings, it saved the game. Luke Lavin, the hitter. 0-1 the count, grounded to second his first time up. Lavin, a freshman from Laguna Beach. That's my old stomping grounds in Southern California. Halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego. Two balls and one strike to Lavin. Aiden May, 49 pitches. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Matt Scott, 82 pitches. 2-2 to Lavin. May gave up a couple of hits in the third inning, both singles. Timo Becerra had the first hit, but then was thrown out trying to take third base on the second hit. Slider foul back. Still 2-2 to Luke Lavin. Aiden May last year as a sophomore in his lone year at Arizona was the Wildcats' Sunday starter. 5-3, 6.33 ERA in 16 starts. And he pitched well against the Beavers here last year. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. No decision and an 11-10 loss to the Beavs. Hainline making a quick flip. They're 2 down. Shortstop playing on the first base side of the bag. In fact, 1 down for the DH Charlie Somm.
Number 21, Charlie Somm.
Somm struck out. His first time up. Check swing, got rung up by the first base umpire on a slider. Somm hitting .263 coming in. Lines it to shallow center. And it falls in front of Reeder for a base hit. Third single allowed by Aiden May.
The third baseman,
Timo Becerra comes up.
Becerra.
Becerra dunked a hit into right his first time up, and then with 1 out, Ethan Hott singled to left center, and Macias threw Becerra out at third. Middle infield double play depth. May misses with a fastball. May's fastball comes up there low to mid 90s, a top out maybe 96. The slider's his bread and butter. That slider misses. That 3,000 revolutions per minute on the Aiden May slider. That slide piece is in there. And there, the man with the phone and the backward cap is Don May, Aiden's dad. Played baseball at Illinois State University. Ground ball, Guerra has it, goes to second. Bazana turned to first in time, around the horn, double play. Base hit by Charlie Somm and nothing else. May face the minimum 3, and Dad is pleased. Halfway through, 3-zip Oregon State. Fist bumping on. Pac-12 baseball is presented by Watch Sports, the official live event guide of the Pac-12. Download today. Good one going on here in Corvallis. 3-0 Oregon State. Opener of a series between the Beavers and Stanford.
We're going to send it over to Maddox. He's going to tell us who's leading off for the Beavers in the bottom of the 5th inning. All right, Maddox, take it away.
Leading off for the Beavers in the bottom of the 5th inning, number 23, Cannon Reeder.
Cannon Reeder leads it off for Oregon State. Struck out looking on a fastball at the knees his first time up. C-A-N-O-N, Cannon Reeder. His father, Craig, plays guitar. And the very first song he learned on guitar was Pachelbel's Cannon. And he loved the song so much, he named his son after the song. Cannon Reeder. Reeder, the beneficiary of all the playing time, with Micah McDowell being on the shelf for the last 3 weeks. And he's played well, hitting .314. Hit in 4 straight games. 7 for 15 during that span, including the strikeout back in the second. 1-1 from Matt Scott. 1 ball and 2 strikes. '87th pitch coming up for the tall right-hander. Got Reeder by the neck, 1-2. That's toward third. Becerra has it. Runs it across. Bang, bang play, and he's out. 1 year ago today, USA Today coaches poll. Have a look at the rankings. Stanford was 8th. 4 teams in the Pac-12 were ranked. Oregon and Oregon State were each receiving votes. Now today, only 2 teams ranked and only 3 receiving votes. Utah got 1 vote in the last poll. Oregon State ranked number 5 in the country. Oregon number 22. Here is why. Look at 23 and 24, the Pac-12 winning percentage in non-conference. These are non-conference winning percentage. Dramatically less. And Bazana drives one towards center. Ethan Hott falls as he makes the grab. Bazana gets good bit of barrel on it, as he usually does, and lines out to center. Second out of the inning. Bazana 0 for 2 with a walk and a 14-game hitting streak. So in 2024, non-conference winning percentage for the Pac-12 at .599, 71 points lower. Look at the best 4 teams. Last year, 759. This year, even better. Those best 4 teams, Oregon State, Oregon, Utah, and California. However, the other 7 teams, the bottom 7 teams in the Pac-12, and they were different last year than they are this year, aren't pulling their weight. 140 percentage points, or fractions of a percentage point, 0.14, below what they were last year. So the bottom 4 teams in the Pac-12 winning non-conference games 14 percentage points below what they did last year. And that's why the Pac-12 has just 2 teams ranked right now. Stanford's RPI coming into this game sits at 154. And so they're looking at this series as a chance to take a serious dent out of that and make a run. 1-2 pitch to Gavin Turley. He struck out, popped out to first. Reaches for one, bounds it out to Haskins. And the side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Matt Scott. He's allowed just 1 base runner since the second. Still 3-0 Oregon State. 3-0 Oregon State. They had an RBI double by Brady Casper in the first inning and a 2-run home run by Dallas Macias in the second. And we're now in the top half of the 6th. 61 degrees here in Corvallis. Shelf of clouds above us. Sunny much of the day here. Number 8 hitter Travis Haskins. We'll start things off for Stanford here in the 6th. Aiden May's been quite efficient through 5 innings. Line drive, 1 hop. Bazana had him played perfectly back of the bag and throws him out. So Haskins' first ball swinging. Grounds out to the second baseman Bazana behind the bag.
The center fielder, number 13, Ethan Hott.
Ethan Hott comes up. One of the harder hit balls off May in this game. Line to single to left back in the 3rd. The play on which Timo Pizarro was thrown out at third base. Aiden May has faced just 1 hitter over the minimum. They have 3 singles. One was erased on a double play, another thrown out at third. No balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Hott. Aiden May has matched his longest outing of the year, 5 1/3 innings. That was way back on February 16th in his first start against New Mexico. That's also the most pitches he'd thrown, 80. So 80 pitches in 5 1/3. And now 2 months later, 5 1/3 innings on 59 pitches. He's at 62 right now. 0-2 coming up to the number 9 hitter, Ethan Hott. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ethan Hott from Paradise Valley, California. Told you Beavers center fielder Cannon Reeder's dad is a piano player. Ethan Hott, the hitter for Stanford right now, is a self-taught pianist. 1-2 pitch. A little bloop, dunk back of first. Craig going out to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
The second baseman, number 1.
Two away for the second baseman, Owen Cobb. Owen Cobb was drafted out of high school 2019 in the 37th round by the Padres. And then came to Stanford, played just 37 games over his first 3 years with the Cardinal. Hit 170 in those 3 years. Then had a breakout year last year. Hit 324. Slugged 471. Pops the bunt up. Smith coming over. And it's up against the netting. Going to the count to Cobb. Not a fan of trying to bunt for a base hit with the strike already in the count. So many bunts are fouled off. Hitters find themselves in a 2-strike hole. Still 0-2. Aiden May trying to get through 6. Oh, 2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cobb flied out to right. First ball swinging in the first inning. Flied out to center on an 0-2 pitch in the third. This will be the 5th pitch of this at bat. 1-2 coming up from May to Cobb. Got him on a slider. 6 shutout innings for Aiden May, right at 70 pitches. Now that is efficient. 3 zip beeves. Bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Oregon State. Each team 3 hits. Oregon State all 3 for extra bases. RBI double by Brady Casper, 2-run home run by Dallas Macias, and later another double by Macias. All 3 Stanford hit singles. Mason Guerra will start things off here in the Oregon State half of the 6th inning. Has lined to left and flied to center. Game 2 of the series, Pac-12 Network tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And then the finale Sunday at noon. That's also on Pac-12 Network. And former Washington State head coach Donnie Marbut will join me. He's color analyst for the final 2 games of this series.
Leading off for Oregon State, the third
Beavers are
baseman,
undefeated on this homestand, 6-0. And they've won 20 consecutive games at home. Going back to middle of May last year. 17-0 at home this year. Got a couple of former Gatorade Players of the Year squaring off right here. Guerra in Oregon in 2021 and Scott in Connecticut in 2022. 1-1 to Guerra. Matt Scott's 94th pitch coming up. Season high 115. Middle of last month. Back-to-back sliders. 1-1 the count to Mason Guerra. Hitting .315. Tied for 8th in the Pac-12 in home runs with 7. Right at the bottom of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike to Guerra. Malcolm Moore, good receiver back of the plate. One-two pitch. Two balls and 2 strikes. All right, threw him a slider. Does he double up on it here? Slider or split, and a check swing, and Kelly Gonzalez says swing, and down goes Guerra.
The designated hitter, number 17, Brady Casper.
Another strikeout for Matt Scott. Despite the scores, having a good game. He went. Guerra didn't like the call, but he did go. Brady Casper, his first game in 5 weeks, doubled in the first inning to drive home the game's first run, and struck out on a splitter in the third. It's a high pop-up, back of the plate. Moore coming back, but it's well on the other side. A 1-1 to count to Brady Casper. Matt Scott's retired 13 of the last 14 batters to face him. Only aberration, the double by Macias on the overturned call in the 4th inning. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. I once did a college baseball game up at Washington. Griffin Canning pitched for UCLA. Noah Bramer, good splitter. 1-2 to Casper. Noah Bramer pitched for Washington. It was a 1-0 game. And both starting pitchers threw 9-inning complete games. UCLA won that 1-0. Done more than 2,000 baseball games. Only time I've done a game where each starting pitcher went the distance in a 9-inning game. Not going to happen today. Scott now more than 101 pitches. Casper's doubled and struck out. 2-2. Full count. Outfield just about straight away against Brady. Payoff pitch. Got him looking. Outside corner. Back door. Good pitch by Matt Scott. And they're 2 down. 8 strikeouts now for Matt Scott. Looked like a good splitter by Scott. Jacob Craig has struck out twice. Usually throws the split to the left-hand hitters and the slider to the right-hand hitters, generally speaking. A 1 from Scott to Craig. 1 ball, 1 strike. This inning figures to be it for Matt Scott. Again, the most pitches he's thrown this year, 115 against USC back on March the 15th. Longest outing, 7 innings a couple of times. One and 2 to Craig. Struck out swinging in the first on a slider. Struck out looking in the 4th. Scott has him by the neck again, looking for his 9th K. 6'7" right-hander out of Reading, Connecticut. The 1-2. Slider missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big sigh for Craig. A lot of bat speed when he gets into one. 2 out, none on, and the 2-2 pitch. Fastball missed. Full count. Malcolm Moore wanted that one. Said something to the plate umpire Joe Burleson. Moore, the Stanford catcher. Now 3-2. He will throw that slider on 3-2. Let's see what he comes with here. And he got him. 9 strikeouts and a good outing for Matt Scott. Through 6, he and Stanford trail at 3-0. Across the Pac-12, there are the scores. Oregon, ranked number 22 in the country, with a 4-1 lead over USC. Ducks won 2 out of 3 at UCLA last week. Cal 3-1 over Washington State. Cal had lost 7 of the last 8 before a win at St. Mary's on Wednesday. Arizona 8-1 over Louisiana Tech. Arizona is seeking their 9th consecutive win. They swept 3 at home against UCLA. 1 at home against New Mexico. Won 3 straight at Cal, and they won Monday at Stanford in non-conference play. So Arizona looking for their 9th consecutive win. Aiden May into the 7th inning for the first time this year. The 2-0 pitch. Now 2-1 to Court McDonald. Was grounded to short and struck out. You saw Utah leading Arizona State 2-0 bottom of the 4th inning. How about the Utes? Under head coach Gary Henderson in his 3rd year. Actually got a vote in the USA Today coaches poll. Backdoor slider missed. First walk allowed by Aiden May comes leading off the 7th inning. And it brings up the number 3 hitter, catcher Malcolm Moore. May 75 pitches. In his last start, he threw 78, which is the most since his return. A visit to the hill from the pitching coach Rich Dorman. Aiden May, who had thrown 80 pitches in his longest outing against New Mexico back on February the 16th. And then got built back up after missing a month with forearm tightness. 3 starts ago in his return through 41 pitches. 2 starts ago 59. Last time out 78. He's going to stay in here having thrown 75 pitches through 6+ innings. And after issuing his first walk of the game. He figures they're building him up. He'd be allowed to go somewhere around 90 pitches in this one. Malcolm Moore is flied to center, grounded out to second. McDonald, the runner at first, stolen 7, been caught 3 times, and the slider missed outside. He has had impeccable command of that slider in this game. 5 strikeouts for Aiden May. Fastball fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. They worked 1, 2, 3 innings in the first and second. Gave up a loop single to Timo Becerra leading off the 3rd. 1 out later, Ethan Hott a line drive single, but Becerra was thrown out trying to take 3rd base. Next batter, Owen Cobb flied to center. May worked a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. Another slider without a lot on it. 2-1 the count to Malcolm Moore. Then in the 5th, May gave up a 1-out single to Charlie Somm. The next batter, Becerra, grounded into a 5-4-3 DP. And then May a 1, 2, 3, 6th. Into the 7th inning for the first time this year. Slider missed outside. That was better, but still off the edge. This next pitch will match the most that May has thrown in a game this year. Cleanup hitter on deck. 3-1 pitch, and the slider missed. Back-to-back walks to begin the 7th inning, and the tying run coming up in the person of the first baseman, Jimmy Nadine. And here comes Rich Dorman again, and that's going to be it for Aiden May. Back-to-back walks to start the 7th, and he's coming out. New pitcher for Oregon State. May leaves, having thrown 6+ innings, has not allowed a run, and the runners on first and second belong to his ledger. Back in a moment, Corvallis. Right-hander Joey Munt comes out of the Oregon State bullpen, replacing Aiden May with 2 on, nobody out here in the 7th inning, and Oregon State nursing a 3-0 lead. Munt working in his 11th game, all out of the bullpen. 1-0, 2.13, 12 2/3 innings, just 5 hits, 7 walks and 12 strikeouts. He missed both of the last 2 seasons because of injury. Ended up needing elbow surgery. In his last 6 outings, ERA 0, 8 innings, 3 hits, and no runs. Last Sunday, Munt against ASU, no decision, and a 9-7 win. Were 2 shutout innings. Headed that game in the top of the 4th in a 7-7 tie with 2 on and 2 out. Struck out the cleanup hitter Eamon Lands to end the inning, and then pitched around a leadoff single in the 5th. Allowed a hit batter on a walk with 2 out in the 6th inning and came out. But Joey Munt coming in to face the first baseman Jimmy Nadai. Nadai, best friend of the Beavers second baseman Travis Bazzana, routed to short and struck out. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Looked like a splitter from Joey Munt. Fastball, slider, splitter, I believe. Bottom dropped out of that one. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh, and 2 to Nadai. Munt's taken something off it on consecutive pitches, and that one hits him. Joey Munt hits his 3rd batter in 12 2/3 innings, and it came on an 0-2 pitch. Oh, off-speed pitch again, and they're loaded up with nobody out, tying runs on base. You're going to get hit. That's the pitch to get hit on, the off-speed pitch. Right fielder Luke Lavin, a true freshman, steps in. 240, 1 extra base hit. It was a double. Joey Munt, let's see if we can get a sense of how he grips it before he puts it in his glove. Yep, gripping it in a splitter grip because it's easier to be deceptive and move away from that than it is to go to it. In other words, pitchers put the ball in their glove, and then based on what pitch they're going to throw, they change their grip. And if they were to start in a non-splitter grip and then move to it, having to jam the ball back in there, it would be obvious. So they start with that grip, and then if they're not going to throw it, they switch to something else. I think he threw 3 splitters to Nadai, and the 3rd one hit him. Joey Munt is a 7th-year senior from Houston, California. That's just southeast of Modesto. 1-2 pitch, splitter, he got him. Bases loaded, less than 2 down. No need for Smith to tag the hitter or step on home plate or anything like that. He's automatically out.
The designated hitter, number 21, Charlie.
Good split. Yeah, Joey Munt was on campus back in 2018 when Oregon State won the College World Series. Didn't play for the team that year. Splitter, 0-1 the count to Charlie Song. He struck out and singled. 2019 as a freshman, Joey Munt, 8 games in relief, 1.93 ERA, 5 games in the pandemic shortened 2020 season, and then 23 games in 2021 for Joey. Half swing hopper out to short. Hainline has it on the back, guns to first, double play. Hainline upended by Jimmy Nadai, but he's able to complete the DP. Bases loaded, nobody out. Stanford does not score. Stretch time in Corvallis, 3-zip Oregon State. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Oh, what a great shot of Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. What a beautiful sunset in Corvallis. And new pitcher's right-hander Ben Reimers for Stanford. Reimers working in his 12th game. 2-1, 7.66 ERA, 22 1/3 innings. He's allowed 23 hits, 14 walks, 20 strikeouts. Last worked in the non-conference game against Arizona Monday at Stanford. Yeah, the Wildcats, after finishing up their series against Cal, they stayed around to play Stanford on Monday. In that game, Reimer's 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits and 4 runs all earned. 2 walks, a strikeout, gave up 2 doubles and a home run. Matt Scott, the starter, leaves it trailing 3-0. You've got nothing to be ashamed of against one of the better offensive teams in the land. Oregon State averaging 9.7 runs per game. Hainline hits a high pop-up, shallow left. McDonald coming in, looks up into the gloaming sky and makes the squeeze. 1 pitch from Ben Reimers and 1 down here in the Oregon State half of the 7th inning. Matt Scott went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, all for extra bases. 3 runs all earned. 2 walks and 9 strikeouts. Retired 15 to the last 16 hitters to face him. Here's Dallas Macias, who was homered and doubled. Throws it past Macias. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ben Reimers, a freshman from Aliso Viejo, California, went to J. Sarah Catholic. Same school that produced Oregon State freshman Trent Caraway. So the 2 were teammates there. Trent Caraway out with a broken finger. I chatted with him today and going to have some pins removed from that broken finger this week, and hope is within 2 or 3 weeks after that, Caraway will be able to play. Excellent freshman infielder. Change up, a check swing, no swing, says the third base umpire Angel Campos. 3-1 the count to Dallas Macias. Macias, 2 extra base hits and an outfield assist in this game. 3-1. Change misses, ball 4. Oregon State a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Stanford had the bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the inning. Back-to-back walks by starter Aiden May. Joy Munt came in and on an 0-2 splitter hit the first batter he faced to load him up with none out. But then with Munt throwing a steady diet of splitters, he struck out Luke Lavin. And Charlie saw him half swing on a splitter, and he grounded into a 6-3 double play. Ryan Gibson chatting with the plate umpire Joe Burleson, and Wilson Weber announced as a pinch hitter. I told you that Tanner Smith, who started the game at catcher, is excellent at stealing pitches at the bottom of the zone, the way he frames the pitches. Oregon State has an excellent analytics program. I mean, very good, one of the best in college baseball. And they've learned that Tanner Smith is better at stealing pitches at the bottom of the zone. And with Aiden May working at the bottom of the zone a lot, Tanner Smith got the start. Wilson Weber is better as a catcher at stealing pitches for the pitcher on the corners and at the top part of the zone. And so now with May out of the game, Weber comes up as a pinch hitter for Tanner Smith.
Number 18, Wilson
Weber hitting .333. He started 1 for 18 this year, and since then has 12 hits and 21 at-bats. He will stay in the game and catch. Macias stolen 4 bases without being caught this year. Breaking ball misses from Ben Reimers. Stanford a younger team than they typically are. One and one to Wilson Weber. Talking with head coach David Esker before the game, and he said they had 9 signees out of high school get drafted and sign last year and ended up not coming to Stanford. He said they expected 4 or 5 of them would, but 9? That's just what college head coaches have to deal with. 3-0 Oregon State in the 7th. Wilson Weber pinch hitting, drives one toward the alley in right center. That's down for a hit. Macias around second, coming to third. The ball trickles all the way out of the running track. Macias waved home by Gibson. He'll score on another triple for Wilson Weber. His 3rd of the season. Weber, a Beavers catcher, going the other way with one and tripling to the alley in right center. A pinch hit 3-bagger makes it 4-0 Oregon State. Wilson Weber runs well. Ravages of time catching haven't caught up with his legs. I mean, he's not a speedster by any means, but he's not a slug either, as you saw. In his last 22 at-bats, he has 13 hits, including 5 doubles, now 3 triples, and a home run. Infield in for Cannon Reeder. 0 for 2 in the game. 1-0. Talking about quality plate appearances, and the Beavers track those. Number of different ways to get them. And Cannon Reeder has been high on that list of quality plate appearances recently. Slider by Reimers, 1-1. Mitch Cannon was telling me before the game that he and the coaches will talk, and they say, yeah, Reeder, another 4 quality plate appearances and 5 tries. He struck out, grounded out to third in this one. Let's see if he can get the run home. 2-1. Told you that Cannon Reeder, after his family took a motorhome trip, they ended up settling in Central Oregon. And his head coach at Summit High School, former major leaguer Richie Sexson. Reimers gets the call on that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Reeder. Reeder's father, Craig, has an online collectibles store. Reeder Collectibles. Infield in, 2-2. Full count, missed with a slider. Pinch hit triple by Wilson Weber after a 1-out walk to Dallas Macias. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, line drive, base hit left field. Weber scores. Reeder around first. Big turn there. And McDonald gets it into the second baseman Cobb. RBI single for Cannon Reeder. He's hit in 5 consecutive games. Oregon State 5, Stanford nothing.
The second baseman, number 37, Travis Bazona.
Reeder went down and got that one, didn't he? Well done on the 3-2 pitch. Here's Travis Bazana, 14-game hitting streak on the line here in the bottom of the 7th inning. He's walked, flied out to center, lined out to center. Bazana didn't like the call to the plate umpire Joe Burleson. 1-1 the count. Bazana hitting .466 coming in. Tops in the Pac-12, 3rd in the country. 1-1 to Bazana. leads the nation in on-base percentage. Tops in the Pac-12, second in slugging. Big pitch here on 1-1. And the count now the way of Bazana. Quick gun to first by Moore. Dug out by Nati. Two and one to Travis Bazana. Reed to the runner at first. Great speed. Stolen one base this year. Off speed outside. 3-1 the count. Again, Bazana during the 14-game hitting streak, hitting .519 with 12 home runs. Now 28 runs scored and 27 knocked home. Incredible. Outfield shading him to the opposite field and very deep. Slider in there. Look at the outfield, how deep they are. The right fielder, Luke Lavin, is playing almost on the track in right center. And the center fielder Hott a few steps in front of the track in left center. Great power to all fields, Bazana. 3-2 pitch, and it bounces up there, ball 4. Second walk of the game for Bazana. He has reached base via hit or walk in all 32 games. Thomas Eager going out to the mound. That's going to be it for Reimers. A one-out walk, and then Wilson Weber tripled home Dallas Macias. A pinch triple for Weber. RBI single for Reeder. And after the walk to Bazana, Reimers comes out. 5-zip Oregon State. A pitching change in Corvallis.
Number 12, Torrin O'Hara.
5-0 Oregon State. Beavers have 2 on, 1 out here in the 7th inning and a couple of runs home off Ben Reimers, who faced 5 batters and gave up a couple of walks, a couple of hits, and 2 runs so far. And now turns it over to Torrin O'Hara, a sophomore from Rockland, California. That's in the extreme northeast suburbs of the Sacramento area. 1-2, 4.66. Has 4 saves. 13 games all in relief, 19 in the 3rd innings, 13 hits, 16 walks, 22 strikeouts. So more walks than you want. Well under a hit an inning. One appearance last week at home against Washington State. That was on Sunday. No decision in the 9-7 11 inning loss to the Cougs. O'Hara went inning and 2/3, gave up 2 hits and no runs. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. Fastball and slider. Fastball comes up there low to mid 90s. Beavers with Reeder at second and Bazana at first. Gavin Turley coming up to face Torrin O'Hara.
Now batting the right fielder, number 1, Gavin.
Struck out, popped out to first, grounded out to short. Turley hit in 3 straight coming in, 0 for 3 in this one. Reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week. Opener of the series between the Beavers and the Card. They'll do it again tomorrow at 5 o'clock on Pac-12 Network. And Sunday at noon. O'Hara misses with the first slider he throws.
Go, Gavin!
Reeder at second, Bazana at first. Turley with 9 home runs, 5th in the Pac-12. Well-placed fastball, 1-1. Freshman All-American last year, Gavin Turley. One pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Torrin O'Hara, the new right-hander, 3rd pitcher of the game for Stanford. He's in the Rockland High School Hall of Fame. Played baseball and football there. Again, that's near Sacramento. 3-1 the count. O'Haron last year was a true freshman for Stanford. 17 games, 1 start. Walked more than a hitter an inning. 11.65 ERA. His number's better this year. And he ties up Turley. Full count.
Looking like a walk. Hold him up.
2 on with 1 out. And it's ball 4. Third walk of the inning drawn by Oregon State. The starter, Matt Scott, walked 2, and both were cashed in by Oregon State. And the Beavers' first walk of this inning came home to roost. And they've got 2 other bases on balls on the base paths right now, along with Cannon Reeder, who had the RBI single. Mason Guerra, line to left, fly to center, struck out in the check swing. Rung up by the base umpire Kelly Gonzalez. Breaking ball in the dirt, smothered by Moore. 1 ball, no strikes. Torin O'Haron facing his second batter. Bases loaded, 1 down, trying to keep the wheels from coming off for Stanford here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. There's one hammered to left, but he hooked it foul. Way out of here. Guerra turning on that one, but he was just a little out in front of it. 1-1 the count. This is a loud strike. Oh, baby. Reeder at third, Bazzana at second, Turley at first. 1-1 pitch to Guerra, high and tight, almost hit him. He had to jackknife out of the way. Mason Guerra doing the limbo. No place to put him. Doesn't want to go to 3 balls in the count. 2-1 to Guerra. And he does. It drops below the zone. 3-1 the count. Crowd here at Goss making some noise. Bases loaded, 1 down. The 3-1 pitch, and it's high, ball 4. Guerra with an RBI on a walk. His 40th run batted into the year. He entered top 4 in the Pac-12. Reeder scores. Bazzana to third, Turley to second, Guerra at first, and the 8th man to come to the plate in the inning. Brady Casper comes up. Back-to-back walks issued by Torin O'Haron. Thrown 11 pitches, only 3 strikes. One ball, no strikes to Casper. Brady's first game back after having missed almost all the action since going back to February 23rd. They tried to bring him back 5 weeks ago after his left knee injury. Malcolm Moore going out to talk with Torin O'Haron. They don't want to dig deeper into their bullpen if they don't have to, not with 2 games remaining on the weekend. Good-natured pat on the shoulder from the third baseman Timo Becerra. O'Haron, a sophomore, making his 31st career appearance. Brady Casper likewise. Pitch in there for a strike, took something off it. 1-1. Brady Casper is a senior in his 4th year at Oregon State. Mission Viejo, California native. Last year, 52 games, 304 with a dozen home runs. Tried to hold up and couldn't do it. 1-2. Casper, 1 home run this year. Had an RBI double in his first at-bat in 5 weeks back in the first inning, since he has struck out twice. And O'Haron has him by the neck, 1-2. Casper stays alive. Still a ball and 2 strikes. 3 runs home for Oregon State here in the 7th inning. They lead at 6-0. Bazana, Turley, and Guerra all on the bases. They all walked. 1 issued by Ben Reimers, 2 by Torin O'Haron. O'Haron's 1-2 pitch, fastball foul back. Still 1-2. Tomorrow, Jacob Kamat's expected to go for Oregon State. Freshman Christian Lim, who's pitched well this year for Stanford. 1-2 pitch. Changeup, he got it. Good pitch. Two down.
The first baseman, number 22, Jacob.
That's a pitch by O'Haron here. I think he took a little off it. And here's Jacob Craig up with the bases loaded. He struck out all 3 times in the game. Coming into the game, Craig 9 hits in his last 18 at-bats, but also 8 strikeouts. So now he's 9 for his last 22 with 11 Ks. So when he puts it in play lately, it finds a hole. Foul ball and a check swing. 1-1 to Jacob Craig. 9th batter to come to the plate here in the 7th inning. 3 runs home for Oregon State, looking to break it wide open if it's not already. In there, inside corner, 1-2 the count to Craig. O'Haron forced home a run with a walk to Guerra, then struck out Brady Casper, now trying to get Jacob Craig. 1-2 pitch. In there, strike 3 call to the knees. Craig strikes out for the 4th time in the game, the 2nd time looking. Oregon State gets 3. We go to the top of the 8th. It's 6-0 Beavers. Top of the 8th inning, 6-0 Oregon State. Our player of the game is brought to you by Rawlings. Champions choose Rawlings, and it's Dallas Macias with this booming 2-run home run back in the 2nd inning, way out of here to right, all the way over the grandstand. And then on a Ethan Hott base hit in the next half inning, he gunned down Timo Becerra at 3rd base on a perfect 1-hop throw with Mason Guerra applying the tag. And then he smoked one down the right field line that was originally ruled foul, but then the umpires looked at it and they changed it to a fair ball. So Macias had a double, his 2nd extra base hit of the game. He's also walked and scored. Joey Munt back to work in the top half of the 8th inning. Bottom 3rd of the batting order for a big right-hander. And that split to Becerra. No, I think that splitter was working very well in the last inning after Munt hit the first batter he faced to load the bases with nobody out. Luke Lavin struck out on the splitter. I don't think the true freshman has seen a pitch like that before. And then Charlie Somm on a half swing grounded into a 6-3 double play. And down goes Becerra. Trevor Haskins, the number 8 hitter, comes up.
The shortstop, number 5, Trevor Haskins.
Joey Munt is a story in perseverance, to be sure. Missed both of the last 2 seasons because of an injury. I remember coming here to the ballpark last year, calling games for Pac-12 Network, and seeing Joey. Like, wow, Joey Munt is still on the team. Rehab for 2 years for a couple of different injuries. 1-1 the count to Trevor Haskins, and here he is as a 7th-year senior. And he has been dealing of late. 6'5" right-hander. Fly ball out to center. Cannon Reeder coming in. He's there to make the squeeze, and they're 2 down. Stanford down to their last 4 outs, trailing at 6-0. Reeder doing a Very nice job in center field in the absence of Micah McDowell. The silver lining to the injury to McDowell is that when Oregon State gets into the postseason and they need something from Cannon Reeder, he'll be much more comfortable doing it here in his sophomore year. Ethan Hott, the number 9 hitter. Split misses. Stanford Cardinal, the back-to-back Pac-12 regular season champion. They've played in 3 straight College World Series. What a run to get there last year, huh? Lost their second game of the regional, had to win 3 consecutive games. And they did. Lost their first game of the Super, had to win back-to-back games against Texas, and they did. Ground ball toward the hole, backhand play by Hainline, guns it across, stretched by Craig, not in time. Great play by Hainline. It was very close, but Hott beats it out for his second hit of the game. Let's have a look at the pick here by Craig. Oh, his foot was on the bag and he picked it out. Or Kelly Gonzalez missed that call. Let's have one more look at it. Watch the pick in his glove, foot on the bag before he got there. Yeah. Oregon State challenged one earlier, and it was overturned. This time, no challenge. Call was missed, so runner at first. There's a cue ball off the bat of Owen Cobb. No balls and 2 strikes to the Stanford leadoff hitter, second baseman Owen Cobb. 0 for 3 in this game. Fly to right, fly to center, and struck out. Last Sunday at home against Washington State, Cobb was 4 for 6 with 2 doubles and a home run. Been swinging it well his last 8 games, hitting above 400 in that span. Pitch just missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Six nothing Oregon State. 1 on, 1 out. Top half of the 8th inning. 1-2 from Joey Munt. Pulled it foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. 22 pitches now from Munt. If Munt can get out of this quickly, and if they wanted to use somebody else in the 9th inning, then Joey would be available later in this series. If things get messy and he has to throw a lot more pitches, or if they want to use him in the 9th, then maybe he wouldn't be, at least until Sunday. Maybe if he threw the 9th in this one, he could throw 1 inning on Sunday. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cobb. Beavers with 3 in the last half inning, which has changed the complexion of this game. 2-2 pitch. Hooked foul. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Joey Munt, the pitcher. His brother Johnny played football at Oregon. And then was a tight end with the Rams for 5 years, and then 2 years with the Vikings. Last 2 years with Minnesota. And he got it. Throws a fastball past Owen Cobb. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Joey Munt. He's got 3 in his 2 frames. And we're going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. All Oregon State so far. 6-0 Oregon State. Going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. He was ranked number 5 in the country. Oregon State's RPI, as of today, 11. Arizona with the 2nd best RPI in the Pac-12, all the way down at 40, and then Utah at 51. Brandon Larson comes into the game to play first base for Stanford. Man for Stanford, moving over to third base, Jimmy Nadai moves across the diamond. Timo Becerra out of the game. Hainline led off the last inning by flying out to left. Here he hits a sky-high pop-up. It's in that triangle out there, but it hangs up. And this time it's the center fielder who makes the catch, Ethan Hott. Second consecutive inning that Hainline has led off a frame by flying out on the first pitch. Things got messy for Stanford after that. In the 7th inning, when Macias walked Wilson Weber, a pinch hit triple. That brought home Macias, and then Cannon Reeder, line drive single to left to bring home Weber. Later in the inning, a bases loaded walk to Mason Ware. 3 runs came home for Oregon State. 1 ball, no strikes to Macias, who was homered, doubled, walked, scored 2, knocked home 2. And as an outfield assist. Off-speed pitch, 1-1. That was a key outfield assist, throwing out Timo Becerra back in the 3rd inning. Without that, Stanford would have had runners at first and third with 1 out. Instead, it was runner at second and 2 down. Could have been second and third with 1 out. And that really put a stop to the inning's progress for Stanford. 1-2 the count to Macias. Torin O'Haron came on in the last inning. There's a line drive towards center field. Hott is there to make the catch. Barreled up by Macias again. Lines out to center. Only time they got him.
The catcher, number 18, Wilson Weber.
Here's Wilson Weber. Pinch hit triple an inning ago. To repeat, Weber now 13 hits in his last 22 at-bats, with 5 doubles, 3 triples, and a home run. Yeah, 3 triples. He's a catcher. 0-1 the count to Weber. Tanner Smith started back of the plate. 1-1 the count to Weber. When Stanford comes up in the top of the 9th inning, trailing it by at least 6, they'll have 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. McDonald, Moore, and Nadai. Beavers looking for their 7th consecutive win, trying to improve to 28-4 overall, and 18-0 at home. 1-2 to Weber. Got him. Good pitch by Torin O'Haron. Collects his 3rd strikeout. And the Beavers go 1-2-3. 4th time tonight they've gone in order. We go to the 9th. 6-0 Beavers. 6-0 Oregon State. Beavers out hitting Stanford 5-4. But for the Beavers, 5 hits for extra bases, including a Dallas Macias 2-run home run. New pitchers Kyle Scott comes on to replace Joey Munt after Munt worked inning and 2/3 scoreless. Kyle Scott has made 2 appearances since missing 6 weeks with an injury. 3 games this season, 2.45 ERA, 3 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Transfer from Cal Poly. 4 years for the Mustangs. 67 appearances for Cal Poly. Worked last Sunday against Arizona State. No decision in a 9-7 win. 1 scoreless inning, a hit, a walk, and a couple of strikeouts. And in a much higher leverage situation there, the top of the 8th with the Beavers leading 9-7. About a walk and a single to start the 8th, then got 2 strikeouts and a ground out. News and notes about Oregon State. 27-4, 8-3 in the Pac-12. Travis Bazzana leads the Pac-12 in all those categories and top 3 in the NCAA in a number of categories as well. Beavers' current rank, number 5. A couple of weeks ago, they were number 2 prior to losing a rain-shortened 2-game series at USC. Gavin Turley and Jacob Komatz swept the weekly honors last week. Turley the player of the week, Komatz the pitcher of the week. Jacob Komatz will be on the hill for Oregon State tomorrow. And the Beavers' 20 consecutive wins at home dating back to May 16th of last year, and 17-0 at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field this season. And looking to tack one onto that. They have 3 outs to get. Kyle Scott, fastball comes up there low to mid-90s, and he starts off with strike 1, throwing it past Court McDonald. No balls and 2 strikes. Beaver starter Aiden May. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. On just 80 pitches, matching his most this year. His 4th outing back since missing a month with forearm tightness. Breaking ball pulled foul. Still 0-2 to Court McDonald. Joey Munt, 2 innings, 1 hit. No walks, 3 strikeouts. He hit a batter. 2 inherited runners didn't score. Off-speed pitch, waved that and missed. Good changeup by Kyle Scott. Ninth strikeout for Oregon State pitching. Malcolm Moore fly to center, grounded to second, and walked. Looks like Court McDonald's 8-game hitting streak going to come to an end. Short hopped at first by Craig. He takes the bag. And 2 outs in the books here in the top of the 9th inning. Now McDonald did an 8 straight, 0 for 4 after striking out to begin the inning.
The third baseman, number 6, Jimmy Nana.
Kyle Scott, no relation to the Stanford starter Matt Scott. Matt Scott from Connecticut. Kyle Scott from Seal Beach, California, to Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana. AP scholar with distinction, Kyle Scott. Breaking ball got away from him, 1-0. Oohs and ahs out of the crowd. Jimmy Nada has grounded to short, struck out, hit by pitch. His best friend grew up together in Australia, the Beavers' second baseman Travis Bazana. Line drive, that'll get down for a base hit. Reeder picks it up, guns it in, and it's a single for Jimmy Nadi. 5th hit for Stanford. All singles. The big inning for Stanford was the 7th. They trailed it 3-0 at the time, and they had the bases loaded and nobody out. Numbers 5 and 6 hitters coming up and didn't score. Joey Munt throwing an excellent splitter. Struck out Luke Lavin on the split. Got Charlie Somm to ground out to short on a split. 1 ball, no strikes now to Lavin. Grounded second, grounded short, and had that strikeout in the 7th. Stanford down to their last out. Beavers looking for a shutout win. Two balls and no strikes. Lavin, the right fielder. And now 2-1. Now the 2-1 pitch coming up. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2-out single by Jimmy Nadai has extended things. Now the 3-1 pitch. Fastball in there. He was a strike away from a shutout. Oregon State looking to toss their 4th shutout of the season. They have yet to be blanked themselves. 3-2 pitch to the freshman Luke Lavin. Runner goes and it's foul back. They wind it up and do it again. Kyle Scott, 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, slider, curve, and change. First year with the Beavs after 4 years at Cal Poly. He delivers, and it's taken just high, ball 4. 2 on, 2 out. The DH Charlie Somm coming up. Brandon Larson, who came into the game to play first base in the bottom of the 8th, is on deck. There were 2 out, nobody on base. Nadai singled, and on a 3-2 pitch, Lavin drew a walk. Now Charlie Somm. Slider misses. Somm had a pinch hit home run against USC on March the 17th. There's a line drive toward left. Macias coming on. He's got it to end the game. Oregon State with their 4th shutout of the year. They blank Stanford to open the series 6-0. Beavers have won 7 consecutive games overall. They're 7-0 on the homestand. And they are 18-0 at home this year. And they've won 21 straight games at home going back to May of last year. 28-4 on the season, 9-3 in the Pac-12 in first place. Stanford falls to 6-7 in conference play, 13-18 overall. They have dropped 3 consecutive games. Got a great pitching matchup coming up tomorrow for you, 5 o'clock on the big network, Pac-12 network. And that'll feature Jacob Kamatz for Oregon State. And Christian Lim, a freshman left-hander, will go for Stanford. Donnie Marbut, former Washington State head coach, will join me tomorrow for the second game of this 3-game series. Our VP of Remote Events is Kyle Reichling. For producer-director Jeff Butler. For our SDB Tech, Gio Polito. And for all of our hardworking crew here in Corvallis and down in the Bay Area, I'm Rich Burke. And that is it. From Gus Stadium at Coleman Field, where Oregon State blanks Stanford to open the series by the final score of 6-0.
Thank you again for